Hi everybody, happy Thursday. Welcome to Lunchtime Live. I'm Pia from Stitches and Scraps and this is episode 59. Today I'm going to show you how to work the crab stitch, which is also called reverse single crochet. But before we get to that, hi Beth, good to see you. You beat me here today. I was a little bit late, but for those of you who are new on Lunchtime Live, basically what this is, it's my video newsletter for Stitches and Scraps. So I'm going to tell you about what I've been working on, what's coming up for next week, what's new on the blog, all of that stuff. And then we finish with a quick demo on a knit or crochet topic usually, but something fiber arts related, which today is going to be the crab stitch. And next week I'm going to do another version of the crab stitch, or a similar stitch called the twisted single crochet. But today we're doing the reverse single crochet. Let me show you what's new on the blog this week. This right here, this is a foldable market bag. Now you've seen those ones where like it turns into a strawberry in the corner. That's what I was kind of going for when I started it, but that didn't work out well. And the reason for that is with this kind of fabric, this open mesh fabric, it's super stretchy, right? So if I put a solid corner in here to make it look like a strawberry, it was always coming out weird because the strawberry part didn't stretch as much as the rest of the bag. So when the bag was open, it looked really ugly. So this was the solution I came up with. And this pattern is new on the blog. This is for the Summer Quickies Crochet Along over at CAL Central. And for those of you who are new to Lunchtime Live, in the description on this video, you'll see a link to one blog post, right? One web page. In that post, I've listed everything that I'm talking about. So if you want to get to Crochet Along Central, CAL Central on Facebook, that link should be in there, or the link at least to this Crochet Along should be in there, to the pattern, all that kind of stuff. So feel free to check that out if you want to find what I'm talking to you about. All right, so the thing everybody wants to know, I got to show you how to collapse this. And it's too big for me to show you on the table. So you see these red lines here? These are drawstrings. So this is what we're going to use to pull it shut. So we start with taking the whole bag, shove it into the corner where the red drawstrings are, right? And it doesn't have to be perfect. If it's sticking out a bit now, we'll fix it later. Grab the drawstrings at opposite ends, like that. Okay, make sure you grab the separate ones and pull it closed. Now, with it almost closed, take and shove everything in there again, nice and tight. And then you can finish closing it like that. And we don't have a strawberry, but it's almost like maybe an orange. And what I like to do is I like to tie just a half knot in the top, and that makes it nice and closed and really easy to hang or carry, nice and compact. And then when you want to use it, you just, hi Mary, good to see you. When you want to use it, you just undo your little half knot, or if you didn't do one, and stick your fingers in the gap and open it up and take out your bag. And that is the collapsible market bag. And it stretches really, really well. Like you can fill this with all sorts of stuff, just not little stuff, right? Okay, so that is the new pattern on the blog right now. What is coming up for next week? Well, I've got a lot of things that I'm working on. The thing that for sure is coming up next week is section 3 of the Mosaic Sampler Blanket Knit Along. Mystery Knit Along. I always forget one word in that title. The Mosaic Sampler Blanket Mystery Knit Along. Okay, let me show you section 3. Hang on, I'm going to switch over to that camera. Here we go. This is, I'm calling it Dolly Diamonds because you get diamonds that are striped and you get diamonds that are dotted. And when you repeat the pattern, these triangles in the center, this comes out, it'll come back up and form another diamond. So this is the section 3 pattern. You saw it here first. And this is coming out on Tuesday. So that for sure will come out. I also have a bunch of other stuff I'm working on that I don't know for sure when I'm going to get it out. I'm working on a roundup, a collection of patterns for pets. So I've got a few of them, but there's some awesome patterns out there. I just have to get it done and get it posted, but that'll probably be this coming week, if not still, the next couple days. I've also got a new planner that somebody sent me to review. That it's a printable planner, so it's like it's really easy to use, and it's a planner specifically for crafting. It's a crafting planner. I am not a big paper person. I tend to do more things online, but this one looked really cool. So I have to print that out and write a review for you guys on that. And I'm planning to do that again as soon as I'm able to get to it. That one will probably be next week. So I'll show you that. And then this weekend in the newsletter, it's time for another designer feature. So Ashley from the Loopy Lamb will be the featured designer in our newsletter this week. There'll be a roundup of her patterns and information about her. So keep an eye out for that. And I'm working on, let me put some of this away here. I'm working on a new pattern with no particular deadline in mind. But soon, because it's appropriate for the weather that's coming up soon. But this is going to eventually be a sweater. I'm gonna show you here. Hang on. This is eventually going to be a sweater. I've got to redo some of this because my counts were a little bit off, but this is like the sleeve, and then the body I started over here. So it's worked sideways, and the reason I wanted to work it sideways was because this beautiful yarn, I mean, it's almost like watercolor, right? It makes really pretty stripes, and especially on the long sections, I'm just loving the way it's striping, and I wanted those stripes to be vertical. So this will be a sideways knit sweater with vertical stripes. I've got like 6 or 7 sizes already planned out with all the numbers. I just have to actually knit it up and test it and all of that. The magical yarn for this is King Cole Drifter, and this is the Illinois colorway. They have colorways for a lot of the different states. I don't think they have all of them, but all the colorways are named after different states, and this is the Illinois colorway, which is like totally my colors. It's purple and green. That's 100% me. But I've got a few different colors of this in my store. So this pattern, when it's finished, will be bundled with the yarn so that if you buy this yarn in my store, you'll also get the pattern. I'm going to tell you, if you buy the yarn ahead of time and you want the pattern, I will probably, once this is out, I will just send it to everybody who's already bought the yarn. So you don't have to worry. You can buy the yarn now and then you'll still get the pattern. But check out the different colors that we have, and that's in the store as well. It is a DK weight yarn, so it's not worsted. It's a lighter weight yarn. It's a number 3, and I want to say it's 25% cotton, a little bit of wool, and some acrylic, and that wool gives it this like really great bounce, Cotton tends to sag a little bit, and this one doesn't have any sag to it at all, but it's not enough wool to make it really warm either. So it's perfect for, late summer, early fall, that kind of wear. Actually, I would wear this all the way through fall. But okay, so I'm going to try and get this out soon, but that is the other thing that I'm working on. Anybody have any questions on any of the stuff I've talked about? Pop it in the chat. That's pretty much what's going on in my world. I'm going to have an announcement for you guys soon about, I'm taking a break for a little bit, but I don't have the dates yet. So once I have the dates, I will let you know and tell you more about that. But meanwhile, and it might not be for several weeks, so once I know more, I'll tell you. Meanwhile, I will show you how to do the crab stitch. So let's jump back over here, and I have this little swatch that I worked. This is the Lion Brand DIY yarn I've been using for the magnets, which I already finished the next magnet, and it's super cute, and I can't wait to show you guys, but I'll show you that next week because it doesn't come out for a couple more weeks. So, but if you look really closely, you can probably see it behind me. Anyway, let me show you this crab stitch. So crab stitch is reverse single crochet, which means it's worked backwards. So I'm right-handed, so I normally work from right to left, okay? But for reverse single crochet, I'm going to work from left to right. Now, if you're left-handed, flip what I'm saying, because you normally work from left to right, so you're going to be working from right to left. It's basically the opposite, the reverse of whatever you normally do. So I'm going to join this orange yarn. Okay, I'm just pulling up a loop, and I'm going to go ahead and do a single crochet in this first stitch. So I'm going to chain one and do a single crochet. Okay, so that's easy. That's just the single crochet we know. Now, the point of reverse single crochet is you're just making single crochet stitches, but you're doing them in reverse order. So I'm just going to make a single crochet stitch here. Nothing fancy, just a single crochet. But when I do that, it forces the yarn to twist around, okay, so that I can pull up that loop. So watch this yarn in the back. Watch how it forces that stitch to kind of twist in order to pull up that loop going the wrong way, right? So this is it. This is reverse single crochet. You just make single crochet stitches, but going in the wrong direction. Now some people try to, like, they bring the yarn around in front of them before they go in and stuff like that, and that's where people get really messed up with it, because they don't want to just leave it and let it be what it is. My tension's off on this because I was going slow. I'm going to take it back because I want to talk to you about tension. So I'm going to do this at like a normal speed of just making single crochets across so that my tension will be my normal tension, because I want to talk to you about that. And I do have a full tutorial for reverse single crochet and twisted single crochet, which you can see on the blog post. Okay, so it's not showing that much here, but this is the pretty reverse single crochet edge. And generally, if you do a long string of this, it can sometimes get a little puffier than your actual stitches. Okay, sometimes it can cause your stitches to flare out. Now, if you're working in a circle, that's not a big deal. Or if you're working in rounds around a square or something like that, because it'll just make it a little puffier, right? It'll make it a little wrinklier and puffier. But if you're working rectangles and squares, it can really cause your fabric to kind of bow out a little bit, okay? And for some reason it's not doing it on this one, but it can, sometimes it can. So if you're having that issue, here's what I would do. Basically I'd skip stitches, but I have 9 stitches here, okay? I'm gonna skip every third stitch. So I'm going to work 2 stitches, skip a stitch, work 2 stitches, skip a stitch, work 2 stitches, skip a stitch. But I don't want to end up skipping the last stitch. I want to stitch there. So I'm shifting that pattern by 1. I'm going to just work 1 stitch, just my first single crochet here, okay, and then skip that stitch. And then work my second stitch and third stitch, okay, so work 2 stitches, skip a stitch, work 2 stitches, skip a stitch, and then I have 1 stitch left because I offset it by 1. And that is a way to suck that in if you need it to be tighter. Okay, not as pretty, but it will suck it in if you need it to be tighter. Only do that if you're actually having issues with it though. If it comes out looking nice, leave it at every stitch. And that is reverse single crochet. So any questions on that? Anybody have any questions? As far, oh, I know, I wanted to show you something else. Sorry, you don't have to work reverse single crochet as an edging. That was doing it as an edging. But you can also just do it in the front loop or just do it in the back loop and use it to create texture. So here I'm doing reverse single crochet just in the front loops, okay? And then what I can do is I can come back and crochet behind it, and I'll get this raised ridge because I can use those back loops. And you can do the same thing with post stitches. You can work reverse single crochet around the post like a post stitch, just like this, okay? Let's do that for the last couple stitches. And that will leave you with the tops of the stitches exposed so that you can work into the whole stitch. And then when you do that, let me find my brown yarn again. When you do that, it pushes the crab stitch forward so it becomes like a raised ridge. So you can do that. That's like a great, I think I used that one time at the edge of a basket to make a little decorative edge, where the basket like folded up, like I made the floor of the basket, then I did a reverse single crochet edge and then started the walls going up. But there's lots of different ways you can use reverse single crochet to add a decorative element. So like that last stitch. So like that, it just becomes an edge that sits on top of your fabric, okay? You can also do it as an add-on after you're finished with your crocheting. Let's rip this stuff out. So you can work, I showed you you could work reverse single crochets around posts, right? So suppose I want a line down here. Well, I can come to the first stitch I want it in and pull up my loop. Okay, there we go. Chain one and work my single crochet, okay, in that first stitch that I want. Now I find the next stitch, go around the post, work my single crochet. Okay, find the next stitch, go around the post, work my single crochet. And keep doing that. And so you can add reverse single crochet as a surface crochet technique. It looks a little different because you've got the tops of the stitches kind of sticking up there. You may even want to do it upside down depending on how you want the lines to show. So you may want to turn your swatch upside down and then do this. But this is what reverse single crochet looks like when you work it as surface crochet. Very different, right? If I had done it upside down, it looks like that. So all different techniques. You could totally use it for lettering, Beth. That would totally work. It doesn't get that same ropey effect though, right? It stays kind of, and that's because of the yarn not coming from behind the same way. So like, notice how when I did the stitch, the yarn was in front because I was doing this right here, right? It's harder, if you want it to really get that ropey effect, you have to bring the yarn in from behind like that. And even then, I don't think it looks quite the same. Yeah, it's not easy to get it twisty, you know what I mean? So it's not quite the same stitch when you do it from behind like that, or when you do it as surface crochet like that. But it's still fun, right? It's still a good lettering technique. It's a good line making technique, very decorative technique. Next week, I'll show you how to do twisted single crochet, which gives you a very similar effect, but working in the forward direction, like working in the same direction you normally work. So that's what I've got for you next week. Meanwhile, if you want a sneak peek at it, there's a tutorial in that blog post, so go check it out and you can see how the two of them look compared to each other. And that's about all I have for you. So I will see you then next week. Have a great weekend, and thanks for watching. Bye.